Hey guys, it is me, the Emerald Sword, and welcome back to another video, where today I will be reviewing Insomnia by Stephen King for you all. So first of all, Insomnia, it is a very large book. I mean, look at that. The audiobook that I used is about 25 and a half hours long. So yeah, it's a long book, and it is really weird, and I'm not going to be able to describe everything just because of how weird it is. But I'll just give you a little bit of a rundown. So basically, it is about this guy named Ralph Roberts, and in the years since his wife has passed away, he's starting to not sleep as much. You know, he gets insomnia, and so he's kind of like, well, why is this insomnia happening to me? But also, there's like this whole thing about like abortion and stuff. I don't know. I'm not gonna get into like my opinions on abortion or anything. That's just not my place. But anyway, this book really focuses on abortion for whatever reason. So that's kind of the main plot. For some reason, I thought it would be more about the insomnia, but apparently it's more about abortion. So yeah. So basically, so Ralph, he's just kind of having insomnia, and then his friend named Lois, she's here as well. And what makes them special is that since they can like see auras and stuff, and Ralph's insomnia is causing him to like see these auras, which are like these colors around people and stuff. I think I get the picture. Anyway, so they keep doing that stuff, and then we meet these little bald doctors that they're called. I guess they're like these alien creatures, but I don't really know what they are. But yeah, they're like these alien creatures, and one is named Clotho, and one is named Lachesis. And there was a third one named Atropos, who's gone rogue. So it's revealed that Clotho and Lachesis gave Ralph insomnia so that he would see the auras, and then that would lead him to defeating Atropos. So he's like, okay then. So they go and defeat Atropos, they like cut him up and stuff really bad, and he's like, okay, I'll leave you alone. I'll leave you alone, just stop slicing me. So then, yeah. So now, apparently because visions and stuff, there's this woman named Helen Deepno, her husband Ed Deepno, and their daughter Natalie Deepno. Anyway, Ralph gets a vision that in the future, he doesn't know when, Natalie Deepno will be hit by a car and killed. So he's like, hey, can I spare Natalie and have me instead? Like have me die instead? And Clotho and Lachesis are like, yeah, I guess we can do that. So anyway, back to this abortion stuff. There's like this major supporter called Susan Day. Not the actress. I did make sure of that. Not the actress. But that's pretty funny. But yeah, anyway, so Ed Deepno, he is very much against abortion. And so his plan is to strap C4 to his airplane and then just bomb the place, like crash bomb into the place and kill everyone. So now here's where things start getting weird. Or I guess I should say weirder. It's already weird. So anyway, Ralph, I guess, can like put his consciousness somewhere, and then he has a fight with Ed in the plane, causes the plane to go down, transfers to another plane of existence to survive the crash, and then there you go. So anyway, so yeah, Ed is defeated, Atropos is defeated, most people at the rally are okay, and yeah, so then Ralph and Lois get married, and then they have a nice life for a little bit. But remember that car crash thing. So the car crash thing happens in 1998. This book happens mostly in 1993-ish. So yeah. So about 5 years later, when Ralph finally remembers, oh yeah, the car crash. So on the day, the car is coming towards Natalie, but Ralph pushes her out of the way, and he gets hit instead. And so in the final page of the book, he dies in Lois's arms. So that's kind of the rundown. I know it sounded all over the place because it is all over the place. So sorry if my, I guess, summary didn't quite make sense. It doesn't make sense to me either. But you'd have to like read the Wikipedia on the summary of the book, or just read the book in general. But yeah, Insomnia is a weird book, but it also has a lot of connections, which I like. First of all, it takes place in Derry, Maine, which, if you remember, is like the main place in It. He's also mentioned in The Running Man, but you know, that was a Bachman book, so we're going to stay away from that. And it mentions the Great Flood of 85, which is how the book It ends. There was a big flood of 85 that destroyed it like a lot of dairy. And Mike Hanlon shows up. Yes, he actually does from It. Mike Hanlon from It. He shows up for about 2 scenes. And then that's it. And also, here's some more interesting things. There is like 1 or 2 lines that mention possibly something lurking in the sewers, which is, of course, a Pennywise reference from It. And even more interestingly, Ralph has a vision of this thing called the Dark Tower, and there's this child that draws the Dark Tower, the Crimson King, who is also mentioned in this book, and Roland, all from the Dark Tower. Isn't that insane? There's like so much Dark Tower stuff in here. So I don't think I have to explain why this book is connected to the Dark Tower, because I already told you. Anyway, so those are just kind of things that I found interesting. Now, how do I feel about this book? Well, it's complicated. On the one hand, it's a really interesting book about a lot of different stuff that I did not expect. But on the other hand, as with a lot of Stephen King books, I think it's a little too long for its own good. It's like, see, look at this. The audiobook is about 25 and a half hours long, as I said, but the book itself has about 790 pages, I think. Yeah, there's quite a bit of pages in there. First of all, I thought it was just going to be about Ralph having insomnia and trying to get over that insomnia. Which he gets over, by the way. They decided to take the insomnia away from him. But anyway, I thought it was just going to be like a really long book about Ralph suffering from insomnia and then trying to get rid of it. Turns out insomnia was only just a plot point. Yeah, the main theme is abortion and stuff, which I did not expect. I thought that was a really weird inclusion. And normally I could excuse like a weird book like this because like, oh, Stephen King was on drugs when he wrote it, you know, like that argument that a lot of people make. But this was in 1994 and Stephen King became sober in 1987, I think. So he was already very much sober by the time he wrote Insomnia. It's so weird. But yeah, overall, Insomnia is a weird book, and I did not, unfortunately, understand all of it. It is going to have to be one of those books that I reread, which I actually have a couple that I'm going to reread. The Dunes, because, of course, Tommyknockers is one on there. This one is going to be like the main one to reread. So I will get to that within the next year or two. And I won't make a full-on review like this video. When I do read it again, I'll just kind of give like a little update video on if my feelings have changed on it or not. Kind of like what I did with the Cujo video. Like I mentioned that I read it before and then I kind of gave my thoughts then and now. Kind of like that. But yeah, overall, Insomnia is a very strange book that I cannot even begin to understand properly. And I will reread it at some point in the future. And yeah, those are kind of my feelings on Insomnia. It is very weird, but I cannot recommend it enough. It is such a wild ride that you will always be questioning what is happening. But yeah, anyway, so the next Stephen King book I'm reading, I will not review what it is, but I will say that, oh yeah, people do not like Insomnia very much. Yeah, people do not like Insomnia very much. I've heard that it actually is the cure for insomnia. I wouldn't go that far to say that. It's certainly very slow, and it's certainly very weird, but I wouldn't say it puts me to sleep. No, I started falling asleep because of a lot of other stuff that I was doing while reading it. But yeah, anyway, Insomnia is weird. And yeah, that next Stephen King book that I'm reading, it's not quite as long, and I actually know that it's quite popular among Stephen King fans. Yeah, it's one that people actually like. So I will leave you guys to guessing what that is. But until that video, I've been Ben from the Emerald Sword. Make sure to like the video if you haven't, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. But yeah, I will see you guys next time.